welcome to the show, pre-show extravaganza. It's been a couple weeks. How have you been? You get snowed in?
Yeah. I was just gonna stay silent and see how long you could just keep going.
I'm just gonna vamp until I find this fucking logo. All right, I search logo and it doesn't show up. Clock, reel, other logos.
For reference, a week or two ago, I shared the link to our short film we made, evidently like 8 years ago, and whenever I posted that link, I discovered that the YouTube channel that we set up for it had a really cool logo that Will made, and Will, because I said that, looked it up and was also really impressed by this logo, and now he's been trying to find the original on his hard drive since.
I was really impressed by a logo that I made. I forgot that I made because you brought it up and I was like, really? It's cool.
I forgot that you made it too.
And then I looked at it and I was like, oh yeah, actually it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
I just don't know where it would be. I don't know.
Well, it's just gone forever.
I guess I'll just have to remake it if that ever takes off. Wait, you said you posted the Sorry, I got distracted. I thought I found something. You said you posted the link to the short film? Really?
Yeah, it had to have been either the last pre-show or the one before that. Because we had talked about it on one of the recent ones and mentioned like, oh, maybe we'll put a link in the description. And then I did that. I followed through. One of the rare follow-throughs.
Huh. I found my script to Invasion. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Which we talked about also in a recent pre-show.
Yeah. I don't have
to read that one. We'll need to read that one. I don't think I've read that one.
I don't have any of those posted anywhere. Any ones that I made in college, I don't have any of those posted anywhere at all.
Short films or?
Yeah. Like Invasion? That's not posted anywhere online.
I don't think I've seen that one. I've definitely seen the janitor one.
You've not seen it?
I don't think so. I've seen Dennison and I've seen the janitor elevator one.
So those, So sorry, I mean pre-film school. Sorry, post-film school. Or film school or post film school. Anything pre-film school I do have online.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that Invasion
in
one.
Film school, and then after film school I do not, unless I was working with you.
Which there's one posted online.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, I can't believe I haven't showed you that. Do I not have a copy of that? I'm sure I do. I found all the versions of Bittersweet though that I have, all the scripts that I have of that. Oh my!
I have the hard copy printout you gave me still in the closet in the other room.
Oh God, you can use that as fuel for your heater if you want to.
I also have a transcript, or at least a partial transcript for a book that this woman. Who would come into Family Video. There was this.
Oh God! Yeah, sorry.
This.
So there was loud. I clicked the file and there was loud music suddenly.
Whoa! Maybe we'll cut it in.
It was in my headphones, so I doubt it. It is copywritten, so no.
Darn.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I have at least a partial transcript of a book that this old lady that would go into Family Video. She gave it to me that she was writing, and I never read it.
Oh really?
So maybe that's something that we should read on the air. Is a strange woman's transcript for her book that I don't know. I don't have any recollection of what it could possibly be about.
I love that title though. As far as that being a title for something, as an old woman's strange description for a book, just as the title for something.
Yeah. She would go in there and she would tell me a little bit about this thing, because she was one of these people that was like one of the few customers that would rent like an interesting movie, and I'd be like, oh, you're renting this one, I thought that was pretty good or whatever, and then we would kind of like chit chat a little bit every time she stopped in there, and
That's
then
cool.
she eventually told me about this book that she was writing, And she was like, yeah, I can like bring you in like a couple of chapters, I think, or something like that, if you're interested. And I was like, yeah.
Sure.
And she did. And I never read it. But maybe that'll be the next thing we read on air is a stranger's thing. The
Stranger's Thing.
Of which another title.
Instead of Stranger Things, just A Stranger's Thing.
A stranger's thing.
That'd be hilarious. A Stranger's Thing.
You know what I was thinking about the other day randomly was I think I was taking a shower and I randomly started thinking about You're Up and I'm On.
It's great.
Or I'm up and you're on. I mean,
It's great.
I was like, fuck yeah, that still needs to be a show.
I'm up and you're on. Yeah, I just recently, I mean, as of this recording, I just recently edited that. It was very enjoyable to.
Which one is that 85 or 84?
4 or 5, yeah. Listeners will know.
Oh, yeah. You'll remember that one fondly, everybody.
Yeah, it just happened.
But for us, we recorded that feels like a long time ago, and I don't remember it really.
So we took 2 weeks off because why did I not record last weekend?
Because I was in a hotel and I didn't want to bring my laptop.
That's right. It was a big snowstorm. Yeah.
But I think you were also, I think you were also kind of like, well, that's fine though. I'm happy to just kind of like relax and not do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so we had at the time of this recording last week, we got like absolutely pummeled with snow. Pummeled
is the right word. How many inches did you get?
According to the local news, because I did not measure myself, so I can't give you my personal measurement, but according to the local news in my neighborhood, we got 15 inches of snow.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
Do you think that's accurate from your personal experience?
I kept forgetting to do it, but I kept wanting to send a picture, like every morning whenever I drive home from work, whenever I get into our neighborhood, I keep meaning to stop and take a picture because it's just the road still has snow on it. And then the sides, there's just like feet of snow around the sides of the street. And so it's really strange. There's like, and on my drive for work down the interstate, the like guardrails are completely buried in snow.
Yep,
so the guardrails is just snow.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
There's quite a bit. I mean, everything's still covered here except for where it's been plowed. I think I think the official was like 12 here. I measured 11 in my front yard officially.
Yeah, well, it's been snowing every night since then, pretty much. Like every night.
Wow.
Whenever I go to work, by the time I leave work, I have to brush my fucking car off again because it gets covered in snow again.
Non-stop.
It just doesn't stop. Yeah, every night almost. So yeah, that's a bummer. It's luckily even the major snowstorm that we had last weekend, it's just been like really fine powdery stuff at least. So it's really easy to just wipe off.
Yeah.
So that's a bright side.
Yeah, I mean, even like the almost foot that I had to shovel was not too difficult as far as, it was still deep and it took a while. But if it was that deep or even half that and wet, it would have just been, a massive amount of work.
Yeah. So I had booked a hotel close to work anticipating like, well, I'm still going to have to fucking go there and they don't clean these roads worth of shit. So,
right. Yeah.
So I got a hotel for a couple of nights and that was a good decision, I think. And
yeah, I think that was just to, at least have a backup instead of having to be stressed about, going all the way home.
Yeah.
And all the way to work.
Plus, like greatly reducing the chance of getting held up in traffic because I was also worried about like, I'm gonna fucking also get stuck in like a long backup at some point, and so I luckily didn't have to deal with any of that. And my hotel was pretty good for a really cheap hotel, really clean, no issues with any of that stuff. So I was happy.
That's good.
I was a little nervous because it was a really cheap hotel, but I seemed to also be one of like maybe 2 people that were there. The parking lot was like completely empty.
Right.
But so that was good. And so I watched a few movies
mm-hmm.
while I was there. And just kind of hung out. I got some shitty Pizza Hut pizza.
Yeah.
Because I can't order that from the one here close to town, closer to where I live, because they gave me some disgusting food with like stuff on it that really disturbed me. And I contacted them about it, and they wanted to come pick it back up. And I was like, I threw it out already. No, because I took it outside and threw it in the dumpster.
Go get it.
They were like, well, I can't give you a refund then, but we can remake it for you. And I was like, and I just never replied to them. And I was like, fuck that. So I wasted like a whole bunch of money on their food that had been contaminated from what it seemed. And
what do you think was on it?
It looked to me like a fingernail.
Oh,
that is what it looked like. And I took a picture and I sent them the picture of it, and they basically were like, it looks like plastic or something, but either way, whatever it is, it shouldn't be there. And they said that they couldn't give me a refund because I had already thrown it out, which doesn't make any sense to me. So they offered to remake it, and then I just never responded. And I was like, why would I want more food from you?
Right? Yeah.
So then I've not had Pizza Hut since until last weekend. And it was just as like shitty pizza as what I remembered, but it was so good to have it back.
I enjoy pizza, Domino's. Did you say Domino's or Pizza Hut? Shit, I knew you said that. Sorry. No, I knew you said that, and then I said Domino's. Sorry, let me retract what I was going to say. I like Pizza Hut, but I haven't had
too. It's just, but yeah. Whenever I call it disgusting, I just mean like it is a disgusting pizza, but I like it.
Yeah, no, sure, but I also have not had Pizza Hut pizza in a long time.
Yeah, that was the first time for me in like probably 2 years since that happened.
Yeah, I mean, if I had a thumbnail on mine, I also wouldn't want to eat it.
Yeah, so that was what I did, and I didn't have to go to work that first night. I had one night off of work this past week, and
how was that? Do anything fun? Get crazy?
I sat in the hotel room.
Oh, that's right. You were still in the hotel. Yeah.
Yep. Sat there in the hotel room, and that was pretty much it. I watched. So I actually had been wanting to talk to you about this movie series I've been watching. Series of films. Yes. There are 10 of them, of which I have so far watched 4, and it is called Senritsu Kaiki File Kawasugi.
Okay.
And like I said, there are 10 of them.
Yeah.
And I've watched 4 of them, and they are all these, if you can't tell, they're Japanese.
Couldn't tell.
These Japanese films, and each one of them is faux documentary style, like handheld documentary style.
Okay, right.
And it is this team of, if you include the camera person, it's 3 people. This team of 3 people, the camera guy, a guy, and a woman. And they each one starts with them reviewing footage that they have been sent. And then they go and they essentially investigate, or they like interview the people who shot this footage, and they like get shown where it was shot, and they investigate what's going on.
Right.
And they also like try to catch whatever the thing is. But it's not just like, there's like a ghost video that we saw, and we're going to go try to get the ghost on video. These are real Japanese like urban legend and like mythological creatures.
Oh.
And so the first one was about this slit-mouthed woman, and that was fucking freaky. The second one was a ghost one. It was like this shivering ghost. It's like this ghost silhouette woman that like is vibrating like that. It's fucking weird looking.
Yeah.
The third one was this human eating kappa, which is this fucking like frog this humanoid frog beast. That was fun. And then the fourth one that I just watched was Hanako-san in the toilet. And it's
toilet?
It's this toilet monster ghost creature thing. And that one was fucking fantastic. Yeah, these have been so fun. And I have, like I said, I've watched 4 of 10, and I really am excited to watch the rest of these movies. They're each, at least the ones that I've watched so far, they're each like 70 minutes. Maybe 70, 75 minutes or so.
Right. That's not too bad for like a short... sorry, you heard my laptop start up.
I did just... Oh, yep, there it is. But yeah.
I'm deep diving for this fucking picture, man. So wait, but are they all... I was half listening. Are they all by the same director?
Yes, they are.
That's awesome. So like... Imagine
Koji Shiraishi, who I knew, and I think you may have heard of it as well, possibly. He's the director of Noroi the Curse, and he also directed this horror film called Grotesque, and he did one called Occult that I haven't watched yet, but I've seen Grotesque and Noroi the Curse. That
doesn't ring a bell for me, at least.
Oh. Well, it's that guy. If anybody out there is listening to this and they've seen that Senritsu Kaiki File Kawasugi, excellent. So each one of them is like file 1. It's like the last one that I watched is Senritsu Kaiki File Kawasugi ! File 4 : The Truth, Hanaku-san in the toilet. And the poster art for that one is a toilet with a face in it.
Oh, it's like the Ring. It's like the grunge girl, but in the toilet. Huh.
And so we're at a point in the series where also like the main guy investigator is also like handing out DVDs of the previous movies to people and stuff as they're going, which is great.
That's cool.
And so they were like trying to convince this dude in the third one, the pond in which the human eating kappa lives is on this dude's property. And they're like trying to convince him to let them like shoot on his property, basically. Yeah. And the dude brings like copies of the previous 2 movies to give to him as like, what this is like, we're serious. And so that was great. I thought, these are very fun, very interesting.
I like the idea of
kind of creepy too.
Of having that as far as like a creative endeavor, I guess is the word I'm looking for, in the sense that there's like this overarching concept, and then you can focus in like one movie. Mm-hmm. It's not a feature length, I don't guess, right? It's still considered a short film, but still, that's cool. File 1. I can't really make out, like, is it a face like split in half? The like slit face girl?
Really distorted.
Oh, it's on the side. Okay, it's the head on the side, and there's a very wide mouth. That's creepy. Yeah, but I like the idea of like, okay, I'm gonna do this series, and then I'm gonna devote, like I said, almost a full feature length time to that one concept, instead of, what could easily be done as like a 30-minute or a true short. I like the idea of being able to like kind of broaden that. And then are they all interconnected, other than because the file names almost sounds like, is that a character?
Interconnected in so much as like within each one the previous investigations exist, and it's the same team, and like the last couple that I've watched, they're kind of at a point now where like within this universe the other investigations exist, and like people have seen those, and so they know to reach out to this team to send them their footage and stuff like that.
But all of it's fictional.
Yeah. Yes. But
that's cool.
Yeah, and the most fun part is the like that each one of these, like the topic is like a actual Japanese like urban legend or like mythological thing.
Yeah.
Which
that's cool.
Oh, it's so fun, because I was like, what the fuck is a kappa? and they explain that stuff each movie. Like they give you like background on what the thing is also,
Right.
and like a history of it. And
So there's like the actual lore is put into
Yeah.
these, but they are not a real team of investigators.
yeah, right.
They're just playing that for the
Yeah,
film. That's cool.
yeah, it's all fictional, of course. And so yeah, they're and also you can kind of watch them out of sequence, I believe, if you want, because each film, at least so far, seems to open with like a very brief and quick recap of like the previous investigations
cool.
before. So it shows like file 1, and it shows like a few snippets from that one, and then file 2 and a few snippets.
So they are treating it as though it's like a series.
Yeah. But yeah, these are really interesting. The fourth one, the last one that I watched, was probably the most David Lynch, non-David Lynch thing I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Because you know how...
Sorry. So I found it.
Oh, you did?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Where was it? No. Where was it?
It's on my laptop that I haven't turned on in like 3 years.
You made it on that laptop, and then you...
I believe so,
You've
yeah.
never used that laptop
Yeah,
again.
basically, yeah. I'm going to send it to you. Go ahead.
Yes,
keep telling me
please.
about this, though. Yeah.
Oh, I forget what I was going to say now.
David Lynch,
David Lynch.
non-David
Yeah,
Lynch,
so,
yeah.
because there's like a thing where anytime a movie is weird, everybody wants to say
David
like,
Lynch.
"Oh, it's Lynchian,"
Lynchian. Yeah. that's
even
true.
though it's like it's not really. It's just like weird, and that's not really. David Lynch
It's just
has like a very
surreal.
specific.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see a David Lynch thing, and you know there's a difference between what he made and then what somebody else is trying to make like his. But this fourth video was the most David Lynch thing I've ever seen that was not from David Lynch.
Awesome.
It gets fucking nuts. And there's this like time travel loop that's happening in it. It was so like high concept and fascinating. And I was really fascinated by the fourth movie. And I looked on Letterboxd, and after I watched it, I was reading some of the Letterboxd reviews. And there's a lot of people that are just like, yeah, this is one of the best like found footage horror movies in general that I've ever watched. And
That's
I was
cool.
kind of thinking, I was like, yeah, this is like one of the most unique and interesting concepts that I've ever seen for for this kind of a movie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the visuals were so David Lynchy. It gets so weird and off the rails really quickly. It is, yeah, it's not like anything else I've ever really seen. But yeah, I found these on. I had wanted to watch them for a minute, and I found a playlist of all of them on YouTube. But there is a specific playlist that one has to go to see the correct versions.
Oh.
Because there are 2 different versions of each one that have been uploaded.
Okay.
Of each movie. So there is a
Why?
YouTube account that has uploaded all of them called Asian Horror. That's the name. If you search these movies on YouTube, that's actually the first thing that comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Is this channel called Asian Horror that has uploaded them and made a playlist with them. But the subtitles for them are ass.
Oh, really?
And I paused it at a certain point because it seemed, not knowing any Japanese at all, the subtitles seemed strange.
Off.
And I paused it and I looked at the comments, and I was like maybe 5 minutes in, and all of the comments were like, I don't know much Japanese, but even I can tell that this isn't even close. And there
This is
were
wrong.
people in the comments that are like, there's a difference between getting some of the translations close but not quite, and just making up everything they're saying entirely.
Just
and they're
guessing.
like, this is essentially just made up. Like they made up their own version of this movie, basically.
Writing a
with
whole
subtitles.
nother story, just hiding
And
it behind
so-
bad translation.
Yeah, so I was like, well, that's a fucking bummer because I wanted to watch these, but I'm not watching this version then. And then I found there is a different playlist and uploaded videos from Shira Club, SHIRACLUB.
Okay.
And that's the one you have to go to find the correct versions with good subtitles. And I pulled that one up and I paused it, and all the comments were like, thank God, a version that has the correct subtitles. And so whoever this person is actually took the other person's upload and they just corrected the subtitles.
That's cool.
And each video even starts with like original subtitles by and like corrections by. And so yeah, they're in great quality. That's the full thing. They're great. There's a playlist with all 12 or all 10 movies plus 2 of this director's other movies in full. Shira Club, SHIRACLUB. I recommend checking out these Senritsu Kaiki File Kawasugi films. Fucking fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to post that, or I guess maybe it's okay to like add that link into the description.
I think it's okay.
Okay. I didn't know if like that risks possibly like getting that taken down. You think? I mean, not that like all 2 of our listeners are gonna like really bump the numbers on that algorithm.
I think you can pretty much link to something in your description.
No. I just mean that like sometimes like copywritten stuff is on YouTube solely because like YouTube hasn't seen it yet. Like there's not been enough eyes on it. But then the more people watch it, or the more people share the link, it seems like that kind of aggravates the copyright.
I mean,
but again, like
definitely have.
I don't know if our numbers are going to move that needle any as far as that goes. In fact, it might even be like YouTube's like, you know what? Leave it up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know enough about these to know even if they're like copywritten or not. Because I think that these were made. I don't know. I don't know enough about it, but they definitely have like at least tens of thousands of views each as well.
Okay. So they're not like.
So I don't know.
Like 45 views and like kind of a secret.
No.
Okay. All right.
Nope.
So that's.
And good. I think the versions that have bad subtitles. Yeah, they also have 50,000 views on the first one. Yeah, 19,000. Yeah, they definitely all have like tens of thousands at least on both versions uploaded.
Right.
It's just one is just a pretend version of the movies, I guess. But no, they're
different story.
Really good. Yeah, Operation Capture the Slit-Mouthed Woman. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to say. The other great thing is that this team of investigators, they basically never successfully complete what they're setting out to do.
Oh, that's great.
They have like an objective, and then like, yeah, they just pretty much never succeed. Pretty much whenever shit starts getting too crazy, they just like stop and they move on to the next thing. And then each movie so far, pretty much, the guy at one point, whenever they like hit a roadblock where like they can't get any more information and there's like something holding them up, the dude gets really pissed off and slaps somebody around, and then they give him more information. So every one of these, that dude gets fucking pissed and starts just like beating the shit out of people. It's great. And as silly as I'm making it sound, these are not like, they're not like really comedic. They're played straight. They're fucking fantastic. It's wonderful. It's very good. My imagination was really captured by the Kappa one. And I went down this rabbit hole of reading about Kappas and like their lore in Japan. And there's this town that has like a Kappa festival every summer. And I sent you out of context pictures from that movie about the Kappas, which you never responded to, and I didn't suspect you would.
Oh, that's what that was. No, I just didn't know what the fuck. I thought, again,
I know.
Send me random shit. I'm like, I don't know what to even say, because I don't want to say like cool, and then be really dismissive about it, and then I also don't want to like. I don't want to like pull a conversation out of you. If you're not going to give me the conversation, I'm just like, okay, well, I guess he just didn't want to talk about this.
No. I sent it knowing there wouldn't be a response, and I sent it thinking I'm not going to give any context. I'm just going to send you these weird pictures and not say anything else, and assume you're also not going to say anything. And then I moved on.
Well, you were right. You're correct.
So yeah. And,
yeah, because like I said, I mean, I was just like, I don't know what this is. I don't know,
Yeah. For reference, I sent him 3 pictures from the beginning of the film where it's talking about the lore of the Kappas. And so it has these kind of like illustrated images of Kappas doing things. And so like the first picture is Kappas stealing cucumbers.
Wait, let me just join you real quick. 1 second.
And the subtitle on the screen from the narration over the scene as they're describing says the Kappas are destroying the fields. The next image is a kappa with the cow by the tail pulling it into the water, and it says they are dragging the cattle under the water.
Wait. How long ago did you send these?
I think while I was watching it last weekend, it must have been.
Oh, gosh, we've talked a lot since then. Okay, explain the first one again. The kappas are destroying the fields.
Yes.
Explain that one again so I can follow along to your explanation.
All right.
Are the kappas those beast things?
Yes.
Okay.
They're like frog-type humanoid things, and they have a turtle shell on their backs, and they have this hat on their head full of water.
Interesting. And this
based
is
on a war.
Legit, like, Japanese creature thing. Okay.
Yep. And they love cucumbers, and they like sumo wrestling. And so, in the lore...
like that's the two things that they've two qualities that they've given us.
In the Japanese lore, people have to challenge them to sumo wrestling. Yeah. And a trick that you can pull on the kappas is if you bow, you can trick them into bowing back, and it spills the water out of the hat on their head, and they lose their power.
Oh, wait. That sounds familiar. I don't know why that sounds familiar.
But there's apparently in some parts of Japan, there are still to this day like warning signs posted around like ponds and stuff, warning about kappas and like how they'll drown you if you get into the water. And
really,
stuff, like to keep kids out of the water in certain places.
The old scare tactics.
And so the third image is a man trying to flee with a kappa with his arm up the man's bum, and it says pulling balls out of people's anuses.
Oh, okay.
And that is another thing that they do where they say that there's this like ball organ gland in your bum. Okay. And the kappas like to take it.
Is that the prostate?
It doesn't say. I think it's a made up thing.
I'm getting just scientific.
What is happening?
I'm sending you all the files.
I'm getting bombarded, and I download one, and I'm like, is this the same thing I just downloaded? What is this?
Sorry.
SDP watermark?
So I sent you the Simultaneous Dog Productions watermark, the Simultaneous Dog Productions header to the YouTube page, the Simultaneous Dog profile picture, and then also I forgot I made this too, a teaser or a sample for poster for Stranded. I forgot I made too. Sorry for that distraction.
Where is so whenever you send me a file, where does it go? Like, how do I find one that you've already sent me?
No, that's good. That's a good question.
So like after it pops up and then it goes away.
It just says file send. Yeah, I don't know. You're on your own. It took me an hour and a half to find those, so you now have to find you. The challenge is yours now. Yeah, so you sent me these screenshots, as you said, and I had no idea. I was like, I'm sure it's from something, but I couldn't make out what the hell was going on at all, because it's just like a weird like cave painting style, or like old like ancient scroll drawing, and then some I assume Japanese characters, and then there's like English, a sentence of English underneath. And I think I got these at like it was in the afternoon, but I think I was just dead that day for some reason. No, I had just come in from like shoveling. That's what it was. So I came in from shoveling snow, and I was just exhausted, and I took a nap, and then I wake up to like these 3 random fucking photos. I was just like, I'm just gonna wait for him to explain this.
and then that never came.
Never did. And then 5 hours later, I told you that Train Dreams was very good.
Yep.
And it was, by the way. Yeah.
Well, I'm great.
Did you find those files?
Well, yes and no, because they appear to be, if I go to the chat, they show up in there, but I don't know how to like re-download them or if I can.
Should I send them one at a time again?
Well, I have 2 of them. I have Watermark and SimulDog1.
Okay. Simul-Dog 1 is the header.
Wait. Yeah, so I don't have screenshot 2018-0129 at 9:12:07 a.m.
That's the poster for Stranded.
Oh. I don't remember that.
Yeah, I didn't either until I discovered it on the laptop. And then Simultaneous Dog Profile is the logo on the channel that you liked. The one that you want the most is the one you can't.
Watermark?
Nope. It says simuldogprofile.png.
What? I don't even.
I can just send it again. This is good pod though. Figuring out technology. This is the second time now we've been on here. We're getting older.
That profile one. That one never even like came up for me to download. I never saw that one.
Oh, maybe because I spammed it.
I guess.
Just like send them so fast. Did you get it though now, or do I have to resend?
No, I don't have it.
Okay.
Because they're in the chat. If I open the chat, I can see what you have sent me, but there's not like a download button. There's delete, copy, and speech.
Yeah, I know. I don't get that.
So there's not. If you miss the first window, then I guess you fucking just can't download it.
Well, that's good to know, I guess.
There, save.
But you got all the other 3 files?
So I now have profile, watermark, and Simuldog 1.
But not the...
I don't have screenshot 2018-0129 at 9:12:07 a.m. .png.
It's the best one. Clearly, this.
There. Save. There you go, everybody. Okay, I have
40,
all those.
40 minutes later, this saga has come to a conclusion.
Yeah, so do you remember, I'm sure you do.
I'm good at this.
There's I told you that Black Marble guy had that like side project demo album, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, which you like the name of a lot.
CRYYS.
S, yeah. So I still can't find that anywhere. It's not streaming anywhere. I can't find it on YouTube. If you if you search that on for the song that I wanted to share with you, if I search it on YouTube, Miley Cyrus comes up, which seems not very close. Yeah. But I think the thing that I can do is download. I don't know how badly you wanted to hear it, if you would care, but I could download the files from Bandcamp because I purchased it.
Oh, right.
And then I could just send you like the files themselves if you wanted.
Yeah, you could.
But I don't know I don't know how convenient that would be. It wouldn't be illegally pirating.
Well,
is it illegally pirating if I like bring a CD over for you to like listen to and borrow?
For me to borrow the CD, no. But to give me a copy of the CD, yes.
If you rip it onto your computer?
That would be illegal, yes. Because there's now more than what there were before.
No.
Okay. I mean, I'm curious.
I won't send you. No.
No. I'm fine with breaking the law. I'm just saying.
No problem. I'm not going to rip off my man, Chris.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You don't want to hurt, Chris or whatever. But I'm curious to hear them. But I did tell you that I was upset with the pronunciation of the word. And I didn't think that spelling cries with 2 Y's was very creative.
Yeah, and then it turned out you were wrong because it's Chris. And it stands for cry yourself to sleep.
Yeah. Which is so dumb.
Well, the music's good, so that's all that matters.
Well, but that's the part of me that I do want to, I do at least want to hear it. But
because you've liked Black Marble, the stuff that you've heard, yeah.
I think I saved an album of theirs.
Because I showed you a song once that you seemed to never mention, and then you quote unquote discovered Black Marble from somebody else recommending them to you.
Did.
And then you thought you were introducing them to me, and I was like, I've been a fan of theirs for like 10 years. And I showed you one of the songs.
You showed me this exact song, yeah. I have 3 albums saved.
Bigger Than Life is like one of my favorite albums ever made.
That's one of them I have, yeah.
I've listened to that song that album probably 100 times.
A Different Arrangement.
Yep.
And It's Immaterial.
Yeah. So you have all of them except his newest one.
Well, then I'm missing out. Then apparently.
Well, the newest
side
Black Marble
project.
one. No, the newest Black Marble one. Which was like
Fast Idol.
4 years ago. Yeah, 5 years ago.
5
now,
years
I think.
ago. Yeah, 5 years.
Fast Idol, which is probably my least favorite one, but it's still really good
Well, that's why I don't have it.
because it's my least favorite, but still really good.
Because you didn't tell me to get it.
I didn't tell you to get any of them. I don't think.
Yeah, someone else did, and then I told you.
Yeah,
to get
if your friend told you to get it, then you would have gotten it.
the guy that I used to work with 4 years ago.
Yeah,
that was
the
also
synth
in
guy.
the weird.
Yeah,
It was him. Yeah. Well, there were two guys.
I remember you told me.
Yeah, there were two
This
guys
guy
I
was
worked with.
like a big synthesizer guy, is what you told me.
Big.
I remember.
Since
Yeah,
like he's like 8
like
foot
like
tall.
he's really large. Yes.
No, actually, he's like 5'10". But he looked a lot like early. Oh damn it! Why do I do this? I always try to bring up a reference and I can't reference.
Burt Reynolds,
Nope. Keep going.
Christian Slater,
Nope. Almost.
Michael Madsen,
No. Other way. Back towards Burt Reynolds.
Burt Kreischer.
No. Dang it! What was that fucking guy's name?
Penn Jillette,
Nope. He's a singer songwriter.
Frank Sinatra,
Nope. Glasses. Wrote
Art
Pretty
Garfunkel.
Woman.
Oh, Roy Orbison.
Yes, he looked like a younger, like early era Roy Orbison.
That's weird.
This guy. So you wouldn't peg him from a distance.
I wouldn't peg him up close either.
No, that was the end of my sentence. You wouldn't peg him from a distance. You had to get closer. But you wouldn't if you saw this guy, you would not guess that he lives in a church, a former church, and owns several pieces of synth equipment. Like he goes all out to buy that stuff, and he travels to buy up hard to find older equipment and stuff like that. And he has the basement in the church that he lives in is his synth studio. So yeah, you would not guess that this guy was like that, but he was the one that because we used to at the place I used to work at where I worked with him, we used to exchange music, sort of, just bring up, hey, have you heard this, or hey, whatever, and kind of just to test, I guess, or see where each other's limit or boundary was on like music taste, basically, and then there's another guy.
It'd be a fun game. Yeah, I'd do that.
Well, I don't know if call it a game. It was like a competition. We just, it wasn't like we sought out this type of stuff to give to the other person. It was just really like two people bonding over music, and kind of being like, you start off with the more pop or the more like well-known stuff, and then each time you bring up music, the next time the other person kind of like says, "Oh, have you heard of this group?" And then that kind of thing. So Black Marble was definitely the one. I was like, "Oh, I haven't heard of them," even though I clearly had. And and then he was like, "Oh, you should listen to them." And then I listened to them, and I was like, "Oh, my friend Thomas would love this. I should tell him about this."
Thomas doesn't know this fucking thing. He hasn't shown me this one of their music videos before.
Exact music, yeah. But there's another guy too that I same place, and he also was not someone that you would peg. I'm just gonna start saying that. It's like, but he was very much of like he had a redneck-ish looking persona, very kind of rough around the scruffy, rough around the older guy, and his almost 50, I think, at the time, and very quiet demeanor too. Kept to himself. He looked like a guy that like goes fishing and hunting as like the only thing he ever does. And I don't know that he doesn't do that, but that's also just what he looked like. But anyway, he introduced me to like some of the craziest bands. I think Electric Callboy, which at the time they were called Eskimo Callboy, was one that he introduced me to.
I remember you showed me that.
And it was just like crazy stuff that and I'd be like, so I always went to him for like the truly like, I have never heard of this music. like even genre wise, never heard of this. And then the other guy, the Roy Orbison doppelganger, his was more like music that we both knew that we already liked that genre sort of thing. So it was just like expanding that genre or whatever. So, but yeah, Black Marble, that was a.
I always want to send you more songs, but then I'm always like, well, but he's always busy, and then I don't know if he's going to end up listening to it.
No. It's not that I'm busy. It's I don't want to listen to your shit. That's what it is.
Well, that's fair too. Or you wouldn't even fucking remember until somebody else tells you anyway.
No, usually it's that like I'm not busy. Like I'm distracted or whatever. It's like I want to listen to whatever you send me, and actually be able to listen to it. Not just like turn it on my phone and like have it play. Right. I want to like respect whatever it is that you sent me, and then by the time that moment comes up, I've forgotten about it.
Yeah.
So, or it's stuff where like I want to listen to it, but I also want to like be able to talk about it after. So I might be free enough to listen to it in the moment, or even sometimes I do listen to. I just like play it because in an iMessage you can just play the song right there. Mm. So sometimes, well, as long as you send it through Apple Music, I guess. So sometimes I do actually like listen to it, but then I don't have any time to fucking talk about it afterwards, and then I forget that you've sent it. Yeah, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I did listen to that. It was good.
Well, that's good. Well, yeah, if I don't hear anything back, I usually assume you didn't listen to it, and so I'm like, well, yeah. I guess that's fine.
Well, no, and it's better to assume that than it is to assume that I didn't like it.
Yeah, well, I want you to know that I go through a lot of trouble to send you those tracks because
to curate stuff for me that I'm going to enjoy.
Because I don't have Apple Music, so I actually have to like go in there and still search for it and still share it. But
how do you share what you share? Is that shared through iTunes?
Well, I use the app Apple Music because whenever I download my CDs to my phone, it goes onto my Apple Music.
Yeah. Right.
But I don't have a subscription to their service, but you can still search through the Apple Music catalog for some. Like that's how I know that Chris is not on. Yeah. Is not streaming anywhere because it doesn't come up whenever I search it.
You can search, but you can't play it. Is that
correct? Yeah. If you try to play it, it just pops up like a subscribe for $10.99 or whatever.
But it's cool that it allows you to share it though, and I can play it because I have a subscription. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I tried it one time and it worked, and I thought, well, I guess that's what I'll do because it's presumably more convenient for you than it would be for me to share like a YouTube link instead. So
because YouTube also plays in chat or in the message as well.
Oh yeah.
So
all right, well maybe I'll do that.
So
then. Who knows?
Do whatever works for you, bud.
The only time I know that I sent something you didn't care for was a while ago now, where I sent you the song Frankie Teardrop by Suicide, and I remember you responding something to the effect of, I don't know if I would. You said like, I don't know if I would call this music. You said something like, I don't know if I would call this either music or a song, but I respect and appreciate that music like this exists. I just don't think this I don't consider this music. It's the most fucked up song ever. You remember that?
No.
This was like probably 2 or 3 years ago I sent you that.
I sort of remember that like really annoying like chirping sound in the background. Yeah.
Well, this pre-show just got blocked on YouTube.
Yeah, sorry YouTube.
Just like that I See Stars one did.
Yeah, but I don't remember that, but I stand by whatever I said.
Yeah. Well, I enjoy that. I like that album actually. It's bizarre.
You just sent me the one song. You didn't send me the whole album, so maybe that's the difference.
I mean, the whole album is kind of like that.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah.
It's a synthesizer and a synthesizer drum machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking wild. But yeah, that song is really like the most disturbing.
But yeah, so having like that's proof in that like I don't. Even whenever I don't like something, I at least talk to you about it. Whereas sometimes, not you, but I've sent stuff to other like people before, and I don't hear anything back at all. And then I asked them later about it, and they just didn't like it, and they didn't want to talk about it. So they didn't like even say like that's not good or whatever. Whereas me, if I don't talk about it, it's most likely because I just didn't listen to it yet. You know, it's not because I'm like hiding my distaste or whatever. You know, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I'm avid about hurting your feelings. So.
Oh, that's good to know.
Well, yeah, and the fact that I haven't means that I'm awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, did that hurt your feelings?
Well, there's some other stuff that's out there that I'm sure you haven't heard that I'll send you then sometime that I would be curious to hear another person's thoughts on that I wouldn't recommend people.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've ever sent me anything that I've already heard.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah. No, yeah,
I prefer to introduce you to something rather than be like, "Hey, this song is good. You also like this one." If I
no,
recall.
You're right. No, but because I like a lot of music, but I'm also really bad about finding new music, which is the one reason why I really love my Apple Music. I'm not saying Apple Music is the only one that does this. I've been on it long enough now to where it knows me, basically. So the Discover channel, or whatever you want to call it, station, it's been really nice to have and to like show me new stuff. But even then, I found some stuff that was new to me, and then I bring it up to you, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I know that." Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I think in my defense, not to sound like I know all of the music,
you do, though.
But I think I wish. I think obviously you send me something like that whenever you're like, oh, I heard this, and I think you would also like it, and then so it's something that's like in like that is within like something like my taste range, and so
or at least I think it might be.
There's at least more of a chance that I'll know what it is than it would be if you sent me like something outlandish.
I don't think so. I'm going to dispute the claim that you just made.
Which one?
Whenever I said you jokingly that you do know all music, and you said, "I wish." I don't know if I would want that. I think some of the best moments of my life is like discovering new music.
Yeah.
And I think if I knew all music, that would suck.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So I'm coming out against what you just said, for the record.
I'm glad you can come against the literal interpretation of what I said.
Always. It's always going to be the literal interpretation. I remember, just thinking it back recently, one of the best moments of recent years.
Of your life?
No, just recent years, which the bar's low, so I mean. But was whenever I discovered Cassiope, the Japanese pop jazz band.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
God, dude, I fucking it was such a random moment. I was on YouTube, like right before bed, just like trying to find something to watch to like fall asleep to, I think, basically. And there was a video, and I think me and like several other people in the world discovered this at the same time, because there were several comments that were like, "I love this, I didn't know," and that sort of thing. So this guy's video just like went viral, and I had never listened to or watched this guy before. So YouTube just like shot in the dark, thought I would like it, and sure enough, it was right. But it was a video about the group, and I just played it, and I was just like, "Holy shit, this is!" And then I spent like the next 2 hours just like and this is like 3 a.m. I needed to be in bed, and I just could not stop playing this music. And like the next day at work, I just like put headphones in at work and just listened to this band like the whole time. And it wasn't like it was. I mean, I listened to them like repeatedly for months, and then I stopped. I got my fill, and I was just like, I'm done. So I haven't even like listened to their stuff in a year or two, if not more. But at the time, so it wasn't like it was some crazy, awesome, good quality this, or like it just like fulfilled my soul, or like, it wasn't anything like that. I don't know. I just thought it was like a cool sound, and I just dug it for the longest, well, not even the longest, but just like in heavy rotation for a while. And that was like a really like bright spot, just to be like, holy shit, where has this been my whole life? And then occasionally now I'll if a song comes up on like shuffle, I'll listen to it then, of course, but I'm not actively seeking out the albums like I was in the beginning.
I had that happen, but it lasted 2 years with the Smiths.
Oh, really?
I got deep. That was almost the only music I listened to for almost 2 years.
Was it their
straight.
whole like discography, or was it? See, for me, it was just one album.
Yeah, no, it was their four albums.
Cassiopeia, at least.
They released they only made 70 something tracks, I think, total, and I played them all the time for 2 years nonstop. I didn't listen to any other music at all.
Really?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's crazy.
Because I would just try to listen.
I believe
I would start listening to other music, and I'd be like, but I'm still kind of not really in the mood for this. And
yeah.
Because I was like, Enter Shikari is my favorite band, and I'd go listen to them, and I'd be like, this isn't really what I want to listen to now. And I'd go back to the Smiths again and be like, this is fucking it.
Yeah, because it just, like I said, it's, well, at least for me, it's not like it was like, it wasn't, it's hard to explain. It's not like, it just tickled a spot in my brain, I guess, and I just had to listen to it. But it wasn't like it was the most amazing thing I ever heard, or, better than anything else. It just, at that time, I just needed to hear that and keep it on loop,
Yeah, it was definitely, the Smiths was definitely a combination of those for me, I think, because it was the tickle bit. It definitely was the tickle bit, but it was also this is the fucking amazing, perfect music.
It's also just good music.
I was just this is, I kept listening to it, and I was like, if I was able to have a band, I wish that it sounded like this. This is fucking incredible. Yeah. And I got obsessed with Morrissey's voice. Just his voice is so fucking good, and I just couldn't get enough of it. And Johnny Marr's guitar is just incredible.
Have you ever shared in that moment, or moments or period, I'll say, of just devouring one group's music? Do you share that with other people, or do you keep it to yourself until later?
I pretty much just keep it to myself, because for the most part, I'm I don't know even who to share this with. Because for one, I don't really talk to anybody, and then also the people that I do come into interact with, I don't really talk to them about music or anything like that.
Whenever I get super excited about a new group or artist, I share it right away, and I've been burned by that so many more times than not.
I usually that's usually when I try to send you a song. I'll eventually get to I need you to listen to this song.
I need someone else to acknowledge this. Yeah.
Usually Melissa will be she'll usually mention that she likes or dislikes it, and I'm always yeah, but you don't I want you to also
I want
seek
you to
out the music yourself. Yes,
yeah.
I'm you say you like it, but do you ever just sit down and think, man, I want to listen to that song, and then you just pull it up? And I was like, no, it doesn't happen.
So, and that's how I've been burned, is that, and it's my fault really, but I'll be super invested in something, music wise, and I think I've got to share this with people that I care about, just to I don't know, bond over it maybe, or to see if they have the same reaction. And it feels like most times their interest in it, or even just their reaction, is nowhere close to mine. And again, that's my fault.
Yes.
But then I feel like, oh God,
the same thing happened to me whenever I was going through my Smiths period. I remember sending you, I think, one or two of their songs, and you were you had said something about something to the effect of like you can appreciate like the talent and recognize like, yeah, this is really good, but you're just like, it just doesn't work for me. And I was like, fuck, but somebody needs to understand
God
this.
damn it.
And then it happened. My current one is the sound. I've only been listening to the sound for months, and I've sent you a couple of their songs, and you said, I like the sound of the sound.
I like the sound of this. I did, yeah.
And I was like, yes, but I want you to also like, I want you to like seek out the music and listen to more of it outside of me sending it to you.
But Steve, I think that's the hard thing though, is because I think it's sometimes it's because I'm still stuck in the era of whatever I'm listening to is the only thing I want to listen to.
Exactly.
And if you send me something else, it's like, yeah, that's fine, it's good, but it's not what I'm listening to right now.
Yeah, because there's still more Smith stuff that I've been like, but I want Will to listen to this one, but I'm like, but he's already said he's not really into it, so I feel like a fucking douche sending you music that you've already said you don't really care for.
But that's the thing too. Like at the time, I might have not have been, so who knows? But
there's a song that has your name in it, and I'm like, I want to send him this song because it's William. It was really nothing is what the name of the song is. I'm like, it'd be fun for him to hear this song. I'm just gonna hear Morrissey singing your name.
It's just gonna be completely changed by this one song. I don't know if there's anything recently.
By law, you have to like a song that mentions your name.
Oh, okay, really?
Yeah. Yes.
Pressure's on.
And then I also have wanted to talk about the Smiths, and there's one of their songs that has like my favorite guitar riff that I've ever heard in anything.
I think that's the difference though too, is that you want to talk about the thing on a deeper level than just this feels good or this makes me feel good.
Well, there's that too.
No. I'm not saying you don't have that. I'm saying that you want something deeper. You want like to have a conversation. And for me, I don't have that drive. Whenever I'm in love with the sound or whatever, I don't fucking care anything else about who these people are or whatever. At least in that moment. And I'm not saying like later on, because I've definitely researched them later. But I don't dive as deep, I guess. I'm just like put it on loop and just let it play.
Yeah. I do that for a while, and then I get obsessed, and then I'm like, who are these people? And then I read about them, and then I find their like solo stuff that they've done and try listening to that. I just don't do that. And
I think that's a flaw of mine.
I listen to autobiographies from Morrissey and Johnny Marr. And
I just don't do that. And then, so whenever I say that something is good, like that's my peak. I'm just like, this is great.
So I like the sound of the sound. That's like 10 out of 10.
That's like, yeah. Well, no, I think 10 out of 10 is me almost immediately adding it to my library. Seriously, because I don't do that.
Which you didn't do with the sound.
I did not. But I did. What was the thing you sent me recently?
I have no idea.
I'll look it up because it's in order. Oh, that "Sorry You're Not a Winner" song by INTERSTELLAR.
That's what I played for you before our last show.
Yeah, that was great. So I added that right away. But I don't think there's anything right now that I'm listening to. I added the whole "I See Stars" album.
How many times have you listened to
that? Not all, maybe all the way through once, but it's on shuffle. Which is how I listen to most of my stuff whenever I'm driving. I just put it on shuffle.
Yeah.
Unless I'm like in that zone or whatever. Like then I listen to it in track order or whatever.
I like never shuffle. I'm like always.
I'm a shuffler, man.
Album beginning to end guy. Yeah.
So again, I have several albums where I do that, but unless I'm in like the zone to hear that group, then I don't. I shuffle almost all the time, and if something comes up that hits harder or tickles faster or whatever the metaphor is, then I will stop shuffle and I'll go to that album and listen to that whole album. I do that a lot. So I basically let shuffle like randomly find whatever I'm vibing to, and then once I hit that, then I stick with it. For whatever duration, like if I'm driving or working on a project outside or whatever, then but otherwise I'm just always on shuffle. That's the first thing I do is I put shuffle and I just go and I let the random ones and zeros of the binary algorithm decide my fate and go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, not me. No, fuck that shit.
But how much time do you spend trying to, like, let's say you're not in the mindset of like the Smiths or the sound or whatever, that needing to only hear them mindset. How do you find what you're wanting to hear? Or are you always in some kind of like this group, that artist, this group?
It seems like it kind of bounces like that, yeah. I don't know. I don't even remember how the Smiths came up. I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember I had just started driving and I was in my training still, and I just remember looking on Apple Music and like finding the Smiths and seeing,
just
and
randomly?
I was like, I think I recognize the name, but I don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck this even is. I don't know anything about it. And I played, I went to their first album because I was like, I'm going to just listen to this. And I was like, it's fine. And then I listened to the next one. And then I was like, yeah, that was better than the first one. And
I got started out with like, it's fine.
yeah, the first album, I was like, it's fine. Because the first album is a lot different from the other.
So you listened to the whole album, not just one song.
Yeah, I
So
did.
so you
It
gave
depends,
them.
though.
Well, I'm just talking about just the Smiths for right now. You gave them how many tracks were on that first album? 10? 7?
Something like that.
Okay.
10 or
So
11,
you gave them
probably.
almost a dozen chances before you were like, "Yeah, it's fine." See, I'm much more.
Well, I mean, I obviously like, if it was like immediately like something that I didn't care for, I'd have been like, okay, well, I'm not listening to this. But it was like, yeah, this is pretty good.
So each one was fine upon fine upon fine upon fine.
There were
enough to listen more.
I like it more than I did that first time I listened to it. But yeah,
Okay,
it was definitely like, this is good enough that I'll keep listening to this. It's not like,
what does good enough feel like though? I want to know how do you describe that threshold of I want to keep listening and I don't want to keep, because for me it feels like it's a very distinct. It's either like I either know right away that I want more of this, or
Yeah,
I
I
fucking
do too.
skip it.
yeah,
And me knowing right away, it's like this feeling inside of me where I'm just like, this is fucking awesome. I love this. I would never be like, it's fine, and then continue to listen to more tracks.
yeah. I thought that it was fine. I was interested because another similar situation kind of happened with the Stone Roses. I had heard about them, and I kept reading about them and their debut album, The Stone Roses, and I was reading about that album and how it's like hailed as like one of the greatest English rock albums ever made, ever. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, there's some fucking heft to this thing, and I don't know anything about this band. I've never heard any of their music. I don't know. And I pulled up that album to listen to at work at my current job one night when it was really slow. Like, the night was over and we were just kind of hanging around. And the first track played, and I was like, oh, fuck yes.
I'm in. Sold.
But after that first track, it was like, nothing else is really hitting. And I started skipping through the album, and I was like, was the first song incredible and then none of the rest of it? And I'm like reading through everything, and everything is like, I'm reading people like on Amazon who, like, for the vinyl record or whatever, being like, the greatest album ever, like every song is perfect. And I'm like, what? How is none of the other songs sound like that first song? That first song sounds so different from the rest of the album. And then I eventually do like the whole album, but that first song is like 10 out of 10.
Really?
The rest of the album is like good. But I had it's not really, I mean, the similarity with that was that the Smiths I knew had like some heft.
Yeah.
behind that band, and I listened to that first album, and I kind of felt the same way, where I was like, I don't know if this album lives up to like the most influential, greatest British rock band ever. And I was like, this was good, but I don't know if I feel like it impacted me like that.
Yeah.
And then I listened to Meat is Murder, which is their second album, and I was like, yeah, this album has a way better sound, like production quality wise, and just like musically way more complex and interesting than the first album was. Like the first album seems really bare bones and like hollow kind of. I don't know how to describe it other than that. But I listened to Meat is Murder, and I was like, yeah, this is fucking really good. And then after I don't remember if I listened to that album beginning to end per se, but I listened to enough of it that I was like, yeah, okay, I could listen to this band. And then I think, going against what I said earlier, I think I did do a shuffle. So they have on streaming, there is like a Smiths complete collection or whatever, which they also put out as a box set like 10 years ago maybe, where it is all of their music all together in one set.
Right.
And so on streaming, you can find that complete collection, and it's just all of their music all under one quote unquote album in order from first album, second album, third album, and then like B-sides and singles. And so I went to that, and then I would just shuffle around, and then whenever I started driving by myself, I would put that on and shuffle around. And then every once in a while, because it would kind of be background, because I'd obviously be like driving and doing stuff.
Yeah.
But then every once in a while, there would be one that would be like, ooh, what was that? And I'd have to like look to see what that movie or what that song was called.
It's just like, this is great. Yeah.
So yeah, I remember that specifically with the song Rasholm Ruffians. I remember going to sleep in the sleeper in the truck, and I put that album on, or I put that complete collection on just to fall asleep to something. And I remember like laying there going to sleep, and the bass from that song, I was like, whoa, what is this one? And I like pulled up my phone, and I was like, fuck, which album is that one from? And I like looked through to see, I found it, and I was like, okay, I know that I want to listen to that one for sure. And so if a song would pop out like that, I would find out which album that was, and I'd be like, okay, that's the album I'm going to listen to next.
So, okay, so that's my next question.
So contrary to what I said about Shuffle, I did do that with the Smiths.
Right. But that kind of makes sense, because you're at least sticking within a group. So you're not, for me.
Yeah, it's not like
Shuffle to me.
Discover,
it's like, changing genres and everything else. So I guess that's sort of Shuffle, but you're at least still within like a wheelhouse. Okay, but I have a question. So, are you a completionist when it comes to albums? So, like you just said, which I think I have the answer, but you just said that like if you like a song, you will go find the whole album and then save that album. Is that true for almost everything?
No, because I don't listen to. I don't like get into other artists that same way. That's kind of like a unique case.
Okay.
Enter Shikari is also different, because I discovered them when that first album was the only one that was out, and then I've just followed them since.
Right. Yeah.
And then there's like, I think we might have even talked about this. This might be like a pre-show throwback, like a music chat one,
possibly.
like the old days. So there. I know I've mentioned before, but there is an album called Hours, Hours, by the band Funeral for a Friend, coincidentally also British. And that album is like one of my favorite albums of all time.
Right.
And I've listened to it. It's one of the ones that I discovered when I was a kid, and it like holds way up, and I still listen. I listened to it at work like last week. And I've never listened to anything else by that band ever.
But you at least have the whole album, though.
Yeah.
So my question is that do you have many single tracks?
Oh, I see what you're saying. No.
Right. So you are a completionist for the whole album, as far as that
occasionally, but very rarely is there just.
I have a lot.
Track. Yeah.
I have a lot that it's just like I've started in later in life, I guess, like the past 7 years or so. If I like a song, I will go get I will go save the whole album to my library. But a lot of times it's just like, I like this song and I'm just going to save this, And really part of that is just because it's like a bookmark. Like, I do plan on going back to that group or that album and listening to the whole thing. But right now I'm just into this, and I'm going to move on to the next shuffle or whatever. But I do have a lot of just single tracks that are just, in the moment, I loved that one, but I also didn't, I guess, love it enough to go, listen to everything else. Or I was also maybe just like too afraid of like the commitment of going to listen to other things and then happening to me what happened to you with like that one track being awesome and the rest sucking. I've had that happen, so I'm just like, I like this. I'm just gonna save this. I'm gonna, I'll come back. But I have a lot of those where I don't have the whole album at all.
Yeah, well, it kind of happened. It's very rare that I'll just pick out like a single track.
Yeah,
and I will almost every time, if I really like a song a lot, I'll go get that, like, listen to the entire album in full, and that's what I like to do.
Which is what people have always had to do until streaming was a thing. I mean, like, if you liked a song, whether it was vinyl or tape or disc, you had to get the whole fucking album, unless it was like a one-off,
single or something.
Yeah.
And so, like, last year, whenever I got really deep into Oasis, because that was like their reunion tour was announced, and that was like a huge deal.
Yeah, right, it was.
And I was like, I know Wonderwall was like a big song, but I was like, I don't know enough about this band to know why this is like such a big huge news that this is happening. And I was like, I know that one song and it was good, but I got tired of it at a certain point, and so I was like, maybe I need to listen to more of their stuff. And I listened to their first album, Definitely Maybe, and I was like, yeah, that album was fine. It was a similar situation.
But also, like, the history of this show tells us that it was fine. It was actually a pretty high compliment from you. Like, that's actually...
it can be occasionally.
That's like 7
that one was like,
out of 10.
I listened to that album, and that also had like before listening to the album, like, Apple Music has like, little write-ups sometimes you can read, like, that'll be on there. And blurbs. I read that one for Definitely Maybe, and it talked about how this is like a fucking game changer, like big. And that was another one where I listened to it and I was like, it was fine, but I don't know if it was
earth-shattering.
A few songs that stood out as like really good. And like there's a song on the album called Slide Away that is still one of their best songs, I think, ever. And I was like, I like that song more than Wonderwall. Why is this song not more famous than Wonderwall, is what I thought. And then I finally was like, I'll check out their next album, which was What's the Story, Morning Glory. And the write-up for that one was basically like, this is the big one. And I was like, whoa, we're setting this one up. We're setting this one up.
Yep.
I know Wonderwall, and I don't recognize any of these other fucking songs. And I started playing it. And I remember the first time I listened to that album, I was kind of like, I thought, yeah, this was good. Yeah, this was good. Wonderwall came on, and I was like, there's the one I know. And it was good to listen to that song because I haven't listened to it in a long time. And I was like, yeah, this is like a standout track. This is really good. And then I listened to the whole album. I think I listened to the whole album. I don't remember if I got to finish it or if I like got busy and had to do something, but I listened to it and I was like, yeah, that was a good album. There was a couple of songs that stood out. And then I listened to it again a little bit later because I was like, I really want to like appreciate this more than I did the first time. And I remember driving to or back from visiting family, and that's when that album really clicked. I was like, yeah, this is really fucking good. And then I got obsessed, and then I kept listening to it, and I was like, this entire album is a fucking masterpiece.
Right.
And then I told you to listen to it.
Has that ever happened to you with a movie?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay,
that's my answer.
Moving on. Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of an example now. That's definitely happened plenty of times where I've watched something and been like, and then I watched it again.
No, sorry. Yeah, no, that's also a good subject to go down too. But I was actually talking about, has it ever happened to you where you watch a movie, and then you need to like watch it again, or like you need to like you need to keep living in that feeling that the movie gave you.
Yep.
Okay,
There you go. There you go.
because I mean, it seems like
plenty of times, definitely.
It seems like music is I guess more accessible to that in a sense that like it touches more brain, I guess.
Yeah,
but also
I get.
it's also like a slightly more passive thing. So if you really are digging something, you can also do other things while you're digging that sound. Whereas a film, it seems like that would take a lot of. You'd have to really fucking like it to be like 2 hours over and over and over again.
Yeah, that's absolutely a lot of times that's happened. I used to get like movie scenes stuck in my head. I would be at school.
Yeah.
So it sounds really fucked up to say, but there was definitely a stretch in high school, I think maybe like my junior year, maybe, where I watched Taxi Driver every single day after school. I would go home and I'd watch Taxi Driver. Yeah. I'd watched it every day for like 2 months straight.
And what list are you on again?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's really disturbing.
So,
but yeah,
so,
no, that
so
happened with that. That happened with Birdman.
Why would you watch? So, like, what was the driving force behind wanting to watch Taxi Driver like over and over again? Was it just to like because like you wanted to feel a certain thing, or you just like what was it that you after like the third watch you were like, I gotta watch this again?
With Taxi Driver,
yeah, or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, not specifically that title, but that
I would basically specifically that title. I would basically just like think about it all the time, like every day. I would just like
what were you
thinking about it, and there was like nothing that I wanted to watch but that movie.
Like the acting or
that movie, just like I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
So there was a situation. This relates. So whenever the Raid 2 came out,
yep.
There was, for me, in my little personal bubble, so much build-up and hype. I was so excited for that movie to come out because I was a huge fan of the first one and obsessed. And so leading up to the release of the second one, I watched the first one every day for a period of time.
Right. Every day.
But then, so I saw the Raid 2 in theater, and there was a thing, and I read there was other people, maybe this was on like the IMDb message boards when that existed or something, or I can't remember where this was, but somebody was mentioning like, I saw the Raid 2 and I have post Raid 2 depression. And I was like, I'm going through this right now because after watching that movie, there was like no action movie lived up to the Raid 2.
Right.
And so after watching the Raid 2, I really wanted to watch more action like that, but I was like, there's nothing else that was like that.
Yeah.
And so I was like trying to watch other action movies, and I'm like, this is fucking not even close. Like this isn't doing it for me. I don't know.
It's almost
like no
like a drug
other
addiction.
movies were good anymore.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Like you did heroin and was like, man, everything else sucks.
But yeah, I watched the first one every day leading up to it in anticipation and excitement.
Every day for how long?
To the point where I know the choreography, like by heart, for all the fight choreography. Every day for probably like 3 weeks, maybe.
Wow, 20 almost. We'll just say roughly 20 days, 20 viewings.
So yeah, I could memorize all of the fight choreography from that movie essentially, and then. Also with the Raid 2, whenever that finally came out and I was able to buy it, I watched the shit out of that movie. And like we even we were watching, I don't know, I want to say it might have been The Beekeeper, the Jason Statham movie from last year. I think it was that one. But we watched a movie last year that had this fight scene, and I paused it after the fight scene ended, and I was like, that was Raid 2 choreography. And I pulled out my phone and I pulled out the fight scene and I pulled it up and I went to that part in the fight and I showed Melissa. And I played it side by side, and the shots are the same. It's the exact same choreo. They just did Raid 2, and
awesome.
She was like blown away that I was able to pinpoint that just from the choreography.
It was so ingrained.
So yeah, I definitely, there have been several movies, but yeah, Taxi Driver, I definitely had a stretch, but it was just like I don't know. There's not really anything like Taxi Driver, I don't think, but it was it was literally just like a song gets stuck in your head and you want to listen to it again. That's what it was like with Taxi Driver. I would think about that movie a lot, and then I would be like, I need to watch this movie again because nothing else is going to give me the satisfaction that I need.
I wish
because I want that specific movie right now. And so that happened a lot. It happened with Birdman. I got like really deep into Birdman, and I watched that a whole bunch of times. I haven't watched it since. But I watched that a whole bunch of times.
Anything out of it? Sorry, let me rephrase.
Do you get anything?
Yeah. Do you get anything new out of it upon repeated watches, or is it just like
sometimes
the same high?
So I think it varies.
Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah.
It's really interesting to me.
Sometimes there's something that you might notice different or pick up on or be like, oh, this time I watched it, I appreciated this. Rap World, I think I watched that like 4 times last year. 4, maybe 5. I don't remember how many times now, but 4 or 5 times I watched that movie. And that one definitely, there was like, I have a new favorite part every time I watch it. There's like a different part of that movie that I think is even funnier. Or like, I didn't really notice how funny that line was until like the 3rd time I watched it. And then like, there's a part where, I don't know if you remember. So whenever they're like at the drive-thru in McDonald's there toward the beginning, and the dude has Connor O'Malley ask if they have Mystic sauce.
I think so.
And he asks if they have Mystic sauce, and they're like, no. And then so they like get their food, and that dude in the passenger seat is like, he's like, man, it was a prank. He was like, when's the last time you've been through a drive-thru and didn't have like a funny prank happen? And Connor O'Malley gets so pissed off at him, and he's like, you don't make a fool out of me in public like this and shit like that. But there's a part. So the dude in the passenger seat said that their buddy back home is the one that told him to like do the joke. And so whenever they're back, is that dude that's obsessed with that chick, that weirdo and he does like the video of himself in the bathroom. Him. So it's right after we first meet him for the first time, and they're at the dinner table. And this was like, I didn't think this line was really funny until the last time I watched it, where they're at the dinner table and there's a part where it's kind of quiet for a second, and Connor O'Malley just looks up at it and goes, it didn't have no Mystic sauce. He just like really shitty and like pissed off about it still. And for some reason, that just never really clicked with me until the last time I watched it. It's just the way he says it is so fucking funny.
I think the only thing that comes close to with me on that, and I'm just like, I'm so interested in you talking about this because, like, I guess I'm envious. I wish I had either that trait, or I wish I just had that initiative to go, and like rewatch a film that I liked, because usually I just want to savor like that initial experience viewing or whatever. And I've
specifically been wanting to rewatch Oldboy recently. Like I keep thinking about Oldboy.
Well, rewatching stuff I think is a different topic. I mean, like you watch it, and then as you've explained with Birdman or Taxi Driver or whatever, and then days in a row of watching it. That's more interesting to me than saying like I haven't seen this movie in 3 years or whatever, so I need to go back and watch it again. I just wish I had that, like I said, that initiative or whatever to go and just be like, you know what, I did like this. It's okay to watch it again like the next day, because I'm sure that I would find stuff that I didn't catch the first time, or that I didn't quite grasp or whatever, or that hit different after multiple viewings. But the only thing that comes close to that for me would be Borat, but I didn't watch that like more than once in a week. A friend and I used to do. We had our own holiday that we made. It was called Borat Cheesesteak Day, and it was.
I've heard this tale.
It was never the same time of year. It was always like in the spring, sort of. but once a year we would get together and make cheesesteaks and watch Borat. And every time that I watch that movie, which I've seen that movie probably a dozen times over the course of, because we did that annual holiday, I think like 5 or 6 years in a row, and then I also watched it several times on my own, But for me, that would be one instance where every single time that I've seen that, I find a new scene that I love. So I definitely need to like try to adapt the mindset of being like, you know what? I'm not going to necessarily ruin the feeling that I had after watching a movie that I liked the first time by watching it again. I can go ahead and just, revisit that film and watch it with different eyes. And
Yeah, the only time I remember you doing something close to that was whenever we saw Split, and then we went immediately to the first showing the next day again as well.
Yeah, well, I've done that too with, but even to me that's different. So like I've done it with Split, I did it with Conjuring, and for me those second viewings are intentional. Like I want to catch something else. Whereas to me it feels like, which is why I asked like, what do you get out of that? To me, it feels like whenever you are talking about Taxi Driver or Birdman or the other film that you mentioned, sorry,
Rap World.
Rap World. Well, also Raid, the first Raid.
Yeah.
It feels like you're not necessarily watching it to like catch something that you might have missed. You're watching it just because you like it, and you just want, like you said, that song gets stuck in your head. You're not listening to the song again to like catch another lyric. You're listening to the song again because you like the song. So that I don't think I've ever done that, which I want to try, I guess to attempt. But for me, I guess most movies are like one and done. I'm fine. And then if I do watch it like right after the first time, it's usually specifically because like I want to see, this moment, if I can catch something there. Like I think, like Memento was another one that was sort of like that. What is it? What's the title? Is it A Beautiful Mind?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the title. I watched that one like right after I watched it the first time, but it was all just to like, okay, I know how it ends. I know what this is about. I want to now go and, watch it with that perspective, but I never had the need or feeling to say I want to now watch it a third time. Or I want to watch it like the third day in a row.
My record for theatrical viewings is a tie between Interstellar, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Halloween 2018. I saw all those 4 times in theater, which I definitely saw. And I saw Blair Witch 2016 3 times the same weekend. I went every day that weekend and saw it every single day, one after the other.
That's awesome.
So yeah, there's been a few of those like that.
Speaking of Interstellar, the past week, for some reason, I don't know if it's like an anniversary or something. I don't know what's going on, but there's been a lot of people watching Interstellar and reacting in a way to the end of the movie that I don't remember myself reacting, and it has made me want to go back, like within the last couple of days, go back and watch Interstellar again, specifically to see with, I guess, new eyes on the ending. But like a lot of people are having like heavily emotional reactions to the ending of Interstellar, and I just don't remember having that.
Oh,
and again, I'm not saying that I'm blaming the movie. That definitely just me,
Yeah, I've always thought the whole movie was pretty heavily emotional, and the ending really as well. Yeah, whenever his daughter as the old woman in bed.
I remember it being emotional, but I mean like the people I've seen 3 people. The 3 people that I've seen. The 3 people that I've seen on online for views, like they're like crying, like heavily crying, and I was like, okay, I want to watch it again, and not to say that like they're wrong to have that. I want to say that like now that I guess I'm not like in awe of the whole movie, because I guess like I've seen it twice. I guess maybe. I think so. I've just always been like from frame 1 to final frame, just been in awe of the whole. It's just an amazing film. There is depth to it. There is, an emotional weight beyond, just the idea of survival. Sure. But I don't remember having a reaction that came close to what I saw these people. And I'm just like, I want that.
No, I don't think I've ever
I at
cried
least would
from
be
it,
open
but
to it.
I've definitely, there are multiple parts that make my eyes water, but I've never.
That's because you have allergies.
I've never cried from it. I don't.
Corn allergy? You don't have corn allergy?
No corn allergy.
That's all the
no
cornfields.
okra allergy.
All the dust. All the dust that's blowing around.
No.
From the blight.
Yeah, I always, specifically in theater, definitely. I remember my eyes always watered whenever he's leaving. The house.
Yeah. That's
part. And
yeah, I remember
like,
that.
A combination of like the emotion of the scene, but also just like being one of those moments where like if a movie is like really like blowing my mind and I'm like, wow, my eyes will water.
Yeah, you get overwhelmed.
This is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
And that's a combination of like the emotion of the scene and also that because like with
and that score at that moment,
him
too.
driving away, the score, and then as we're like locked down on him and like his fucking. He just looks like fucking destroyed, like as he's driving away, and in the background you hear T-10, 9, and I'm like, oh my god! And it cuts right to the fucking rocket launching off. I'm like, this is fucking incredible.
No, it's incredible. Yeah, exactly.
That part, the part, it's purely emotional, but the part where he's watching, they get off of the water planet, and he's watching all of those videos from his kids that have come in over those years that have passed on Earth. And like watching his kids grow up. And there's like this shot on McConaughey where it's just on him only, and you're hearing the videos in the back, and it's just like slowly pushing in, and
he's like
just watching him fucking
right?
break down completely.
Yeah.
That part always made my eyes water up. And then, the part with, at the end, whenever she's old and he like, whenever he like finally sees her again, I'm like, oh god, yeah. I don't cry from that movie, but it definitely like I get really close.
Yeah. And again, I'm not saying that like I didn't. I just don't remember myself having.
You're just like, I don't get this.
I don't fucking get this. The black hole was cool. That was it.
Yeah. cool black hole. The wormhole is fine.
No, I just like I said, the only feeling that I remember from that movie is just being like awestruck. I maybe did have, some kind of emotional reaction there at the end, like a heavier emotional reaction at the end. But I just don't remember that. I just only remember like being like completely from frame one to the final frame, just being like, that was incredible, the whole way through. So I definitely want to watch with that eye of being like, okay, I know how incredible this movie is. I'm no longer going to watch for like, the incredibleness. I'm going to watch, I guess, for, the heavier emotional stuff or whatever. I guess. I don't know.
You just close your eyes during the cool effects parts and just wait for the emotional parts.
But the scene of Matthew McConaughey's character, which I'm blanking on his name now, leaving the house.
Yeah, me too. I remember the daughter is Murphy, but I can't remember what his name was now.
That track of the score. And there's one other one. I think it might actually be like the Water Planet score, which I can't remember the name of that track either. But I listen to those a lot. Like those come up on shuffle, and I'm just like, I'm listening to this whole thing.
Mine is the docking.
Yeah, the docking sequence is also good.
That's fucking incredible. That was like my favorite part of the whole movie. That was another eyes water just from like how incredible this movie is.
Yeah, that was. But just music, like. For the two tracks that I mentioned, which I can't remember their name right now, and I think like the one track is like Leaving Home or something like that. Anyway, and then the Water Planet one is, I don't know. It's not. Maybe it's called Water Planet, but I don't.
Water World.
Maybe I don't know. Yeah. But those two, like, even if you remove the connection visually to the film, well, sorry, the whole score is fantastic. That Hans guy is good.
He's okay.
He's fine. But for some reason, those two tracks, there's just a lot of like musically going on that I just really dig. And I think I mentioned this is either like last pre-show or I think we didn't talk about this off air, but I have like criteria for liking song. Remember this? I said I listened to song. The reason I listened to song was this recorded or was this like pre-show, pre-show? I can't remember now.
I think
It might have actually been
probably recorded.
I don't think it was. I think it was whenever you were showing me my weekly installment of Inner Shikari.
Oh, maybe so.
So what I said, just for the record, was that I told Thomas that I have criteria for what makes me love a song, and lyrics are like at the bottom. Like if it has like a really good musical theory, musicality, whatever you want to call it, harmonies, that kind of thing, I'm in like right away, regardless of what the lyrics are. And then I eventually like listen to the lyrics. I'm like, oh, the lyrics are also good, or the lyrics aren't good, but I still like the music, right? But that applies for, like I said, the whole album for Interstellar, but specifically those two tracks, where like they're just so fucking well done. And the Water Planet one, like if you listen to the there's like clicks that happen in the background, like ticks and stuff like that. Like those ticks like tell you so, and it's something like, I think someone broke this down, that was like the ticks are 6 years. So like every single time a tick happens in that song, 6 years on Earth has passed. Mm-hmm. And like whenever I found that out a long time ago, I went back and re-listened to that, and like that whole song just like hits heavier for me. Like it's also just like intense, like it builds that intensity of that wave coming. Like you can just feel that, because you know it visually. But I think if you didn't know it visually, I think you would still feel like the intensity of that song. But then knowing that like that there's more to this song than just like it fits the mood. There's also like a measurement of time happening within the story that's from the song. I was like, that's just so damn good. So good.
That's how I felt about that docking track, like separate from that scene.
Okay, yeah.
That track is just, it's really intense and it's just so good. And I love the way like the intensity of the track just builds up the whole time. It's just, it's so good.
I need to find
that's
that.
Always been one of my favorite pieces of music from any movie.
Let's see here. Okay. So, Mountains. Mountains is the one from the Waterworld.
Those aren't mountains.
Those aren't mountains.
Waves.
I don't need. Sorry, I don't know why I said that as I was reading something.
I don't need the docking one.
I don't need. No, there's a song called there's a track called "No Need to Come Back," and I was reading that as I was saying I don't see the docking one. Is it just called docking? Detach. It's called Detach. That's it, right?
I don't think so, because that should be when the robot guys are detaching into the black hole.
I guess docking is the opposite of detaching. So, Stay. Stay, I think, is the one that's the one where he's leaving the house.
No Time for Caution.
Oh, yeah. That's it. Yeah, that's so good too. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's a masterpiece. That was a good year for music anyway. I remember thinking or wishing, or that's even too strong, hoping that he would win the Oscar for that score, because I absolutely thought that was the best score of the year. No, Alexandre Desplat won for the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Shame.
And I'm like, yeah, that's fine, I guess. But him and Johan Johansson's score for The Theory of Everything, I thought were both really fucking good.
Those are two films I haven't seen, and that's on me.
Grand Budapest and Theory of Everything?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Grand Budapest is really good.
I've heard.
Theory of Everything,
I want to see them both.
Don't really care about, but the music is the best part of The Theory of Everything, I thought. And the last 30 seconds.
The credits.
Legitimately, before the credits. The last 30 seconds before the credits are the best part, along with the music. But the only thing that I always remembered about The Theory of Everything, which I haven't seen since the theater in 2014, is those last 30 seconds and the music from the opening shot of Stephen Hawking like riding his bike through campus or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just like but I immediately thought like this music is fucking incredible.
Right.
And I became a fan of Johan Johansson, and then he did the score for Arrival, and I thought this music is fucking great. And then he did the score for Mandy, and he's dead. And that was the life and legend of him.
R.I.P.
Yeah, he was quickly was becoming like one of my favorite composers, and then he fucking died. So that was a bummer.
The only time I've ever had that, the only time I can recall having that confidence in a score was whenever I watched Gravity, and I knew I was like, if this doesn't get nominated, this is going to be a snub. And then it was nominated, and I told my friend, I said, that's the one that's going to win. There's no question. And I don't even remember it being like that awesome of a score. I just remember it being so pivotal to the storytelling of the film, which is how I feel about the Interstellar soundtrack as well.
Yeah, I know we've definitely talked about this at some point, but I always thought one of the most underappreciated scores ever is The Village from James Newton.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
that music is fucking amazing.
Did you ever get that, to wrap this up,
No.
I guess?
No.
Okay.
I remember you telling me about that James Newton Howard album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
No,
so good.
I listened to it on
It's
Apple
good.
Music, but I would not call listening to it on Apple Music, quote, getting it. So no.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
But no, yeah, that was very good. But because it just pulls like a couple of tracks from the movies and whatnot.
Yeah. Here or there, some movies, yeah. But you're right. The Village is really good soundtrack. Yeah. So I guess that's another thing. So last but not least, is there any film that you've watched where the soundtrack was the best part of it?
The Theory of Everything.
Is that the only one?
Probably not. That's the one that comes to mind immediately.
Sorry. I guess I should rephrase that, because you said that Theory of Everything, you didn't much like it except for like the last 30
it
seconds.
was like okay, yeah.
So, but has there ever been a movie where like you liked the movie? So I'm not saying that like the rest of it was like and the soundtrack was great. Like the movie was great, but the soundtrack was like the part that you wanted more of. So instead of rewatching the film again, you would very much be okay with just listening to the soundtrack.
It Follows.
Oh yeah.
Excellent movie, but that score
Yeah,
is
you're totally
fucking
right.
masterpiece.
Yeah.
Like one of my top
that's another
5
album that I
best
have.
scores of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it on CD and on vinyl.
I've seen the movie. I enjoyed the movie, but definitely the score was killer. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. I was trying to think.
My answer.
Yeah, I was trying to think if I had an answer to that. I don't know if I do. I mean, like, I really like any of the westerns that were scored by Marconi. Like, I just love that dude's way of using music to paint what we all know now as like the West.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how he did that.
Yeah, that
As an Italian, especially.
that standoff at the end of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is still like one of my favorite movie scenes of all time.
Yeah.
And it's largely because of that music.
Yeah.
Because it's just music and 3 guys standing there.
Yeah,
That's all it
right.
is.
But
for
it's
like
also
8 minutes.
but it's also like a good film. It's not like that. Like the score is the only thing that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the incredible culminating climax of the past 3 hours of movie that you have watched, and it leads up to that, and it fucking pays off.
One of my favorite songs of his is from The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. It's the Ecstasy of Gold.
Yeah, I think like the biggest one. I think.
Well, I think so. Yeah, and it's been used in commercials and everything else too. So it's not like it's a rarity. But I've watched
that movie from that scene to the ending probably like 1,000 times.
Really?
Like just from that scene to the ending, where from like the moment right before that song starts through to the end is just like I mean, that whole movie is perfect, but
to me,
that
like,
is just like
yeah, it is.
incredible.
But to me, so I don't know if that's my answer or not. Just I guess to wrap up that topic, but that's definitely like one of the where like I love the film visually in the story. You know, everything about the movie's great, but the score is just so damn good that like I'm fine with just listening to the score because, as I was saying, like I don't know how he does it, but he paints with audio with notes and audio what the West looks like. So I mean I'm totally wrong to say this, but it feels like you could like never have seen The Good, the Bad, the Ugly and only listen to the score and know exactly what it looks like. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
The soundtrack like paints the landscape and like the fucking temperature and like the wind and you know the scenery and the animals.
To strip all of that down even further, like even to this day, 60 years later now, anytime there is like a reference to a Western in media somewhere,
exactly,
is the thing that is played, even if like you're like a 5-year-old, you know what the fuck The Good, the Bad, the Ugly is.
Like,
what do you think of Western? Like it's crazy that
I feel
is
like
the sound.
Part of that is because The Good, the Bad, the Ugly is such an iconic film. I feel like, you know, it's become part of like the culture and the zeitgeist or whatever, right? So I feel that, but I think there's also still a part of it that's just like it is so expressive in what that film looks like, but in a way that's only for the ears. That I think you're right. I think that like, you know, any of those tracks, and it's like you're instantly teleported to like 1840, you know, Utah or California or you know Nevada or whatever, and it's just such a amazing talent. Like I said, for a guy from Italy, that was, you know,
where nothing good comes from.
Well, there's that, but I'm also saying, but I'm also saying, like, just not from the region.
Yes,
you know, and then also to be like removed by like 100 years from whenever these films were set. You know, so again, I don't know like how much of it is just those films are so well known, even if you don't know them, culture knows them. I don't know how much of it's that, or how much of it is like they're just so well scored. I'm sure there's like, you know, that spectrum could sway either way, I guess. But for me, like that's, like I said, I don't know if that is my answer to, but for now, because I can't think of anything else, that definitely is like I can just listen to the score, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, because it feels like I'm watching the movie, and not because I've like memorized, you know, the scenes that those tracks take place in. It's purely because like the music paints such a grandiose sound that it feels like I don't know, like that's what the West sounds like. You know, like I said, the wind, you know, the animals, the people in the scene, the fucking temperature, like, you know, it's so weird. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with that one. I might not ever watch. I'm sure I will, but I might not ever watch Good, the Bad, the Ugly again. But I'll definitely listen to the soundtrack.
Man. Well, I will definitely watch It Follows and listen to the soundtrack.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'm going to.
But yeah, that is definitely my first pick of like.
That is a good answer.
That score stands on its own, like above the movie.
Because I can even say that like,
if that movie had a different score, it would be just an okay movie. But because of that score, I am still talking about it 12 years later. And
to me, like, I did enjoy the movie. It's not one of my favorite movies. Like, I liked it, you know, and I definitely respect what took place, and I you know, I'm there. But the score for me was the best part. Yeah, definitely. And I wouldn't have said that until you said it, because I would have forgotten about it.
And that's why I had to make sure you saw it in an appropriate fashion.
Yeah.
Because I remember you had wanted to see it, and I had the Blu-ray, but I was very insistent, like, you can't watch this fucking trash Blu-ray with bad, which I've still never seen anybody talk about ever anywhere. But the Second Sight 4K edition that came out a couple of years ago is correct. I verified that. I put it on one time just to watch the opening scene, and I was like, it fucking worked.
Have I experienced that? Did I watch the right version?
Yeah, because I showed, whenever I showed it to you, finally, I showed you the version that at the time was on Netflix because I had verified that the Netflix version sounded the way it was supposed to.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Because I was like, I'm pretty sure I saw this on Netflix. Yeah.
Because I'm sure most people evidently don't notice, but also a bunch of people just wouldn't care or even think about it. But I was like, I saw this in theater and I know how it's supposed to sound.
Yeah.
And this music does not sound the way it sounded in the movie theater. And if the music doesn't sound right, you can't fucking watch this movie because the music
it's the
is
biggest
that
part
important in this movie.
Yeah, I agree.
And so
that was a good answer.
On YouTube, there was a whole bunch of uploads of the opening scene, and they're almost all the bad audio version. Oh,
from the DVD or from the Blu-ray. I mean,
yeah. I don't know what the deal is with that. And like I said, I've never seen anybody mention it. I've searched to try to find like an explanation or try to find just somebody noticing it, but I've never seen anybody talk about it.
Huh.
And I tried. I know it wasn't a bad Blu-ray because I worked at a video store at the time, and I took home multiple DVDs and Blu-ray copies just to check to see if I had a defective disc.
It was a bad like rip or not rip, but like file or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. Whatever it was terrible, and I was like, I can't watch this. I'm not going to watch this movie
anyone
ever
else.
again because...
I don't let anyone else watch this either.
Yeah, exactly. I got rid of it eventually. But yeah, now I have the Second Sight edition, which sounds the way it's supposed to.
Cool.
So I finally own a good version.
All right. Well, I need to go out. I need to go out and buy a version of The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, I guess. And
oh yeah, Arrow Video put out the definitive, don't need to ever buy it again versions of all three of the Dollars trilogy.
Nice.
So I got 4K, Fistful, a few dollars more, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and like fucking awesome box sets and gorgeous and packed with special features and the way it's supposed to be.
Nice.
So.
All right. Well, I guess it's time to go do our normal show, right?
No.
Okay. So next topic. Keep it going. All right.
Tune in Monday, everybody. Write in an email, wwtcapod@protonmail.com, if you have noticed the audio on It Follows sounding like trash from one version to the next. Bye.
Were we going to talk about the haircut thing? Next time.